do any of you guys remember the Penguins of Madagascar on Nickelodeon, right? Well, there was an episode that never passed. The episode was supposed to air on TV around Season 1 as episode 49, but it was cancelled due to its violent and disturbing content. And so Season 1 ended on 48 episodes. You want to know how I discovered this episode? Let me tell you. A few months ago, I was searching for some Penguins of Madagascar episodes to watch. Then I found an unknown website where I could download and watch all Penguins of Madagascar episodes for free. I clicked on it and looked around, and I came across one episode that was entitled TBOM Lost Episode. So being curious, I clicked on and the video started. Right before the episode started, though, it showed a message saying, "This is the lost episode of the Penguins of Madagascar, which was never aired because of its extreme violence. Watch at your own risk." I thought it was nothing else more but a hoax, but I was still rather curious. After 10 seconds of the message, it showed the intro, which was normal and all that. After that, it showed the title card of the episode, which was just Penguin Suicide. Again, I thought it was just a hoax, and then the episode began. It started with Skipper sitting at the table in the penguin lair. He was rather sad and upset and was crying. This went on for about 3 minutes before it cut to another scene. The next scene was Rico outside of the lair. His eyes were bloodshot, like if he was on drugs. He stared at the camera for about 30 seconds until he pulled out some dynamite and threw it into his weapon box, his mouth, and then exploded. Blood splattered everywhere. I paused it there. What was going on with this thing? If anything, it was disgusting to look at. It then cut to Kowalski standing in the middle of the road. He had a horrifying expression on his face like he had just seen a ghost. Kowalski just stood there, unaware of an oncoming car. Then he got roadkilled by the car and blood was everywhere. I paused it to go to the bathroom to vomit. I felt really nauseous and sick after witnessing what I had just watched. I continued the video. The next scene then showed, oh god, not Private. He was standing on top of the Central Park Zoo sign. He had a very sad expression. There was the same static sound in the background, but you could hear him mouthing the words, "Why?" Then Private fell over to the ground and he exploded into blood and gore. This emotionally affected me greatly, as Private was one of my favorite characters. Then it showed an image that will haunt me forever. It showed Skipper, Rico, Kowalski, Private, King Julian, and Marlene with creepy eyes, except for King Julian, who had pitch black eyes. The picture was a bloody red. It cuts to static for about 5 minutes, and then cut back to Skipper in the same scene in the beginning, but this time there was a pencil and a paper. He grabbed the paper and pencil and went to his desk. Skipper cried out as he wrote, "Without Rico, Kowalski, and Private, I'm nothing in my life. I don't have any reason to go on anymore. Goodbye, world." Skipper then cried again, and the camera panned over to reveal a gun. Skipper then grabs a gun and aims it at his neck. He stands up on the stool and shoots himself, and the camera shows his dead body, with so much blood pouring out from his wounds for about 2 minutes. The credits then roll, but instead of the normal theme, it was silent. The only text that it said was written by Tom McGarth and Eric Darnell. I was very shocked at what I had seen. After that, my browser had stopped working, so I had to reopen it and go to the same website where I had watched the episode, but it was taken down. I later got an email from Tom McGrath and Eric saying that the episode was made by an employee at DreamWorks who got caught doing this and wound up getting fired. If you happen to see a website that has the episode on it, I'd recommend that you really not give it a watch. It's not exactly worth it. It really, really isn't worth it. And that, my little shadows, was the Penguins of Madagascar Lost Episode, aka Penguin Suicide. My final thoughts on the story? Oh my god, was this story awful. I mean, flat out awful. There was literally nothing about the story that was original in any manner or in any form. I mean, just take a look at some of the things here that's said on here. I mean, you got your hyper-realistic blood, you have your depression, you have your... I know I didn't mention in the story, that's because if I did, you guys would probably get brain cancer after reading it, but, I mean, there was also, realistic tears, there was realistic that, there was hyper-realism, there was blood, gore, suicide, murder, more blood, more gore, more... I mean, oh, and not to mention the fact of the matter that there was a lot, and I repeat, a lot of rip-offs in this story. That's something I never understood with Lost Episode creepypastas, but genuinely creepypastas in general. Why the hell do you think it's right to sit there and completely rip off a concept that was in another story? I mean, where the hell is the freaking originality nowadays? I mean, yeah, there are plenty of bad Lost episodes out there that probably deserve worse treatment, but this is crazy. I mean, this thing ripped off, let me think here, it ripped off SpongeBob's Suicide, which, that story in and of its own self was an amazing one. This one was absolute crap. It ripped off, I think, Squidward's Suicide, perhaps? Yeah, I think Squidward's Suicide. Dead Bard, I think, possibly. I don't know. It ripped off a lot of stories that I can't even really know. I mean, I can't recall at the moment, but if I find out what they are, I'll make sure to mention them to you. Even then, though, the story itself was absolutely terrible. Rip-off after rip-off. Then again, this is a Lost Episode creepypasta, so I really shouldn't be that surprised. Now, is there anything remotely good about this story? To answer that question, no. There is nothing good about this story. I'm not even going to compliment the grammar. I don't care if the grammar was good, because the rest of the story is still shit. This entire story is absolute dog shit, and it doesn't deserve to be... I don't know what to say anymore. I'm gonna hold my tongue a little bit, because that's what got me in trouble the last time when it comes to these things. But even then, though, this story was completely unoriginal. It was not scary. It was not interesting. It was just a big mess. Here's what I personally would have done to ultimately make the story better. A complete and utter rewrite. I would have rewritten this story entirely from the beginning to the end. And, actually make it somewhat... no, better yet, make it completely original. Make it something that people can read and be completely and utterly unnerved, freaked out, terrified, scared, I don't care, to be honest. As long as there's originality within the story, and that it's actually good and has proper build-up, and the concept is obviously original. I don't know if I've already mentioned that, but I really don't care. That's ultimately what I would have done. But even then, though, this is just my personal opinion, and if you disagree with it, that's completely fine too. What did you guys personally think about this creepypasta? Oh, before I forget, my review. Well, my rating. Let's see. I give this story a 1 out of 10. That's all I can honestly give this story. It wasn't good. It was not original. The grammar was okay, but everything else was bad. I really hope that the author themselves, really improves more on their writing and on their storytelling. You have a lot of awesome potential, but you really need to work on it. But even then, though, like I said before, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree, that's fine too. Anyway, I'm the Shadow Reader. Thanks again for watching this awesome episode. What would you guys personally do to make this story a lot better? Leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. I'm the Shadow Reader, and I am out.